All right. Well, hello. Welcome officially. We're
Hmm.
so excited to have our first really official Haven Circle gathering. Sorry, I've got things that are biting me. There we go. And I'm very excited about this. I mean, we did have sort of a Haven warming in December, but I mean, that was in the holiday time, and I know a lot of people were busy, and Angela joined me, which was fun. But
Hmm.
now we have a few more people here, and I'm just so grateful to you and so very excited. Also, we did make 42 members today, and I was like, I
Awesome.
want 42 members before the gathering. No particular, it doesn't matter. I mean, and it
Right,
really,
right,
does it
right.
matter? No,
No,
but
but it's fun.
matters to me. It's fun. I'm
It's
a
fun.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy fan. I even have my towel. See,
Yeah.
right? I just wish somebody would take me off this rock. I'm so ready. Come on. Come on.
Hmm.
Take me. Take me, aliens.
Right.
Take me.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Fairies or something.
Angela's like, yes, please.
Yes.
Absolutely. Take me away, whatever. So, yeah, anyway, and a lot of us who are of the highly sensitive variety are very into outer space. Most of us don't feel like we're from Earth. And really we're not, but some people
Mhm.
are, but most of us who are super sensitive are not. So
Right.
anyway, that's maybe another story for another day. However, it's really fun to have people here, and we'll have a topic of shielding, of course, in a few moments. But what I wanted to do first is let us each have a chance to whatever extent you feel comfortable and wish to introduce yourself and say whatever it is that you hope to gain out of today. And so I will just start because well, you guys know me pretty well, but some people who watch the replay maybe are like, I don't really know who this Rhonda person is. I'm just not too sure. So, I mean, I do need to put an introduction page in the start here, but there's so much more important to me than that. So I haven't got it done yet.
Yeah,
It's in a
I haven't done
draft
that
and there's
either.
nothing in it. It says new page. Like, I haven't done it.
Mm.
So I'm Rhonda Del Boccio. Yes, I'm a reverend, but I don't need you to use the title. Yes, I have a doctorate, and I don't need you to use that title either, but they're there. And I've been, for my whole life, a very highly sensitive person. And many people would have said, oh, you're too sensitive. You're so sensitive. You should quit that. You don't talk about that stuff. And all kinds of other things, really kind of denying my nature. And also being somebody who is mostly blind, a lot of the messages I got were, well, you don't want to look blind. I don't really know how reading something like this could make me look anything but mostly blind.
Yeah.
But there you go. That's some, you're a kid and that's the messages you get. So, we try to look sighted and okay, so yes, and then I fall down that thing. I didn't know there was a stairway there or whatever, those kind of things. So, that's part of my story, but the real story is I had to kind of teach myself all about how to deal with seeing spirits, feeling of energies. Nobody else in my family did. My mom was freaked out by it. My dad, he believed me, but he was freaked out by it. I could tell. I mean, it's not like he doubted me or anything, but even just a few years ago, we were watching a paranormal show when he visited, and he was like, "Oh, that stuff's scary." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, thank you. That's my daily life." Hi. Okay, well, I'm sorry it's scary to you, and it's my life, and I figured out how to cope with it without really any. And there weren't like now you could Google whatever you want or Chat GPT, whatever. Of course, that wasn't a thing. We didn't have the computer in our hand in the form of a phone and all of those things. So that was just kind of growing up, learning how to deal with it. And so early on, I learned that I needed to figure out how to shield myself. And so I started learning. And eventually, yes, I picked up things from various people along the way. But in my start, I did not. I just knew that the world was just slamming into me constantly. And I was like, no, I can't quite live that way. So for those of us who are super duper sensitive, and I'm quite sure everybody on this call fits that, we're going to feel it no matter what. Even if we have shields, we're still going to feel stuff from the world and other people. You can't like completely obliterate all that stuff, but you can learn to handle it. So That's sort of my introduction of me and our topic, but let's meet everybody before we get into a little bit of circle ritual and teaching. Who would like to go next?
Mel, you want to
Well,
go?
I can. It doesn't matter.
Go for it,
I
love.
can't. I can't really see. I guess maybe the phone isn't easier. I thought it would be for the microphone issue because I've learned through creating videos that my laptop volume sucks.
Well, we
So,
heard you okay, but whichever way you want to do it is fine, sweetie. It's okay. And this is
uh,
recorded, so
okay. Well, I'm Melissa, Mel for short. I am a single mom. I homeschool my 17-year-old son. He has a chronic illness. I also have a school community. I've been a therapist for the last 14 years. I left that corporate world because it's not conducive to true healing. Um, I've always, I think for as long as I can remember, crystals and sparkly rocks were my thing. I've had an infatuation with books. Rhonda and I have talked about that
yes,
before.
same.
Um, the world has, like she said, our computer in our hand, but I still want the books. And it's uh it's a strange thing to me that like I can't get rid of them. I want more of them. I want the physical book. Um, as far as gifts go, it's always been there. I do feel that it's waxed and waned, and it's not always been something that I've tapped into. I've also had a lot of those. I don't like the labels. I definitely do not resonate with the term witch. And I don't know why. I just don't like that. I don't like labels in general. I think that's part of the reason why I left being a mental health therapist. We are required to label you within 24 hours of meeting you.
Mm.
Um, so labels are a thing I just don't really care for. I feel connected, and I'm trying to, continue to progress in those areas. Um, and I'm very interested in learning more about shielding and protection, because I know the basics, right? But that's it. And of course, I've probably got a book somewhere in my house that I could pick up and read about it. Uh, but I'm very interested in learning from you, Rhonda, and I just feel truly blessed that our paths crossed, um, and I love our connection. It's a very
Me too.
very unique energy, and I love it. So thank you for having me.
But it's a blessing to have school here. And just
Mm-hmm.
because I wouldn't have probably, well, I might have, but not, maybe not met you without school. And I think we can get into such deeper conversations. I know Angela, same with you. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have said some of these things on Facebook that we've all been talking about
Right,
or
yeah.
whatever.
Right.
I'm like, I wouldn't have done that. I don't go that kind of deep usually unless it's a private group. And even then, maybe not. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you, Mel. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, I'm Angela. And now my mind has gone completely blank.
Didn't you hate when that happens? It's like your brain goes,
I know nothing now.
404, file not found.
Exactly. Let's see. I've been married for 14 years. I have four kitties. Um, I have been spiritual for like 20 years now. I do consider myself a witch. It is a term I resonate with. Um, I like Mel love rocks and pretty shiny rocks,
Hmm.
and I have, I'm sure all of us were like those kids that always found rocks we liked and put them
Yeah.
in our pockets. Yeah. So I was one of those. I have learned different shielding techniques. I've had to shield because I'm an empath. But I always like to hear other people's techniques. Maybe there's something they're doing that might work better for me that I'm not doing. Especially like Rhonda, I know you're so highly sensitive that I am very interested to hear your particular technique just to see if there's maybe something I can take from it and use on my own.
Yeah, and I want to learn from you guys too. Let's just be
Yeah.
clear. This isn't about I'm the
Yeah,
guru.
right.
No, I am not the guru. I am not the master, whatever. We're each a walking library. And I
Yeah.
can't wait to learn from you too. Because those of us, like
Yes.
we were talking about, we are so sensitive, we can like feel the world screaming, which is not a fun
Hmm.
thing to live with. And there are at least four people in this very little 42 people group, two brand new
Mm-hmm.
today. So four out of 40 initially until today could say we have that experience. And I was like, never met anybody but one person who had that same experience that I did.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like oh yeah, we need to support each other because when you're that kind of sensitive, it's rough.
Yeah,
hmm
definitely.
hmm I think that's a lot of the reason why uh I think I commented something back to you somewhere because I'm all over the place
I
talking to
know,
you,
same
Rhonda,
here. I'm
but
like 10 conversations later.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I posted something about, how taxing being a therapist is just in general, but I don't feel like everyone that chooses that career path is an empath. So
No,
I felt like it was like a double whammy.
it is.
Um, and
Yeah.
so yeah, it was very taxing. And they all say the same thing. It's like, don't take your work home with you. Learn how to
Mm-hmm.
leave it here. Okay.
Yeah. How do you really do that?
It's
I
kind of
mean,
like
it's not that simple.
yeah, I just had somebody say to me like yesterday or the day before, oh, well,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm,
should just have a better shielding regime,
Oh, yeah.
or and I was like, I just about wanted to strangle this person through the screen, and I love her, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like, yeah, way to know that you don't. I'm not talking about just the garden variety, upset with the government or with whatever. I'm talking about on the deepest of levels,
Yeah.
and it's
yeah.
very different. So,
Well, and Angela, I hope
Mm-hmm.
you didn't take anything I said about
Oh, no,
labels
no,
to heart.
no.
You know,
No. I
to
just thought
each
I
their
would
own, right? Like
comment
I'm
my own
open to
too. Yeah.
that.
Because everybody's different. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
in our little small town, we have an issue with that label, apparently,
Yes. I don't doubt
right? Like
that.
I
Yeah.
feel very spiritual as well and always
Mm-hmm.
have, and I don't align with religion, but
Yes. I
spirituality,
agree.
yes.
Yeah.
But
mhm.
Yeah.
anything that I do, a lot of my family that's very religious and our
Mm-hmm.
little small town, oh, that's witchery and,
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I live in a small town and I would not walk into the town and go, "Hey, I'm a witch." Because they
Yeah.
would
Yeah. I
yeah.
be,
live in a small town too. Yeah.
yeah, they would be
Well, and then
If
I
screaming.
think
anyone asks, I just say I'm spiritual. That's as far as I go
right,
with it.
Right.
Because that
right.
they can understand. They're like, oh, okay, essential oils and crystals, whatever,
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you're one of those
Well,
woo-woo crystal persons." Okay.
Exactly.
That's okay. You can
yeah.
put you can put it down to that.
Yep.
I'm partially
Well, then
woo.
I think if you pick that
Hmm.
label, right, and maybe you struggle with it, Angela, I don't
Hmm.
know, or maybe it bothers you, but I feel like if
Hmm.
you align with that label, then you have to go a level deeper because there's 55 million categories of a witch. There's
Oh,
Yeah,
white
I
sure.
ones and
don't.
green ones and this one and that one. And it's like, I just,
I
I'm just
don't.
a,
I don't consider myself any one type of witch because there are a ton of
There
paths out
are.
there that you can follow as a witch. There's
Right.
tons of them,
Like
but I
there's Wiccan
consider, yeah,
and
there's
there's
right.
Wiccans,
ones that
there's
follow different
like green
goddesses.
witches and
Yeah.
hearth witches and like hedge witches, and there's so many different kinds out there. I just
Hmm.
consider myself a witch, period,
Hmm.
because I don't, none of my path doesn't align with any one path.
I
I
Yeah.
see.
take what I resonate with from each path. So
That
that's
Yeah.
how
makes
I look
sense.
at it.
I do identify as a witch. I also just will say I'm spiritual. I identify as a witch because people who are witches, even hereditary witches, will see
Mm-hmm.
me and recognize that I am a witch. I will also
Mm-hmm.
be recognized by Native American holy people as another shaman. And so there,
Mm-hmm.
power knows its own. And I don't really much care if you want to, whichever label you want to use, power knows its own. Power knows
Mm-hmm.
power. And I'm not saying that in a I am mighty, nothing like that, but just it
Mm-hmm.
is what it is.
Yeah.
So we're connected. Those of us who
Mm-hmm.
go around the day, like all of us, feeling connected to source, we don't feel disconnected. And a lot of people do. And I kind of feel sorry for them because like
Yeah.
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 we are divinity in a body. We are never disconnected, but so many people feel it. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
well,
That's one of the biggest issues in the world is that disconnection that most people feel.
yeah, it was
Hmm.
like I was saying, I think it was Haley. I mean, it's hard to say. I've had so many conversations today. I think it was with Haley, and I was talking about how essentially humans are all the same. I mean, yes, of course, we have different beliefs. Someone's a witch and someone's a Christian and someone's a this and a that, and however you want to slice it and dice it. But in the end, We're all humans. We have a
Mhm.
story. We want love and respect. We want to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to be ourselves. That's really what everybody wants. And sometimes they go about it in a way that is more or less helpful than others, but really, and the core of us, that's what we all are. So
Mhm.
Right.
just to
Right.
remember that would be good.
Yeah.
Let's
Valid point. Is anyone
let's
else on here besides us three?
No, just us.
think so. Just
Oh,
us,
okay.
yeah.
I
Okay.
was like, I didn't know if there was somebody else going to go
No,
next.
I know it's harder to tell on a phone, but I was like,
Hmm.
no, I didn't see any little other
Yeah, just
squares or hear
us.
any other ding dongs pop up. That ding dong is
I'm
the sound,
sure
not,
there'll be people that watch it though and
yeah,
get energy off of it. So,
they'll watch
Yeah.
later. So I'm going to begin with a little circle. Begin with a little circle and then we will move on. Got a feather, a piece of selenite, and there it is. I just about knocked it over there. So even before I began, before I clicked onto the Zoom, I already set up a sacred space, but just to do it in witness so that you know that it's actually done. I claim this sacred space between us. The miles mean nothing because we are one. We are together in the circle, and the circle knows no boundaries. Time and space are but illusions. So we are together and we are protected in this beautiful gold and white bubble of divine protection. Only the highest good is allowed to enter here, only the highest good and the highest vibrations. And we draw our circle, and everything outside of it can just be itself and do its own thing for a while we are together. And I'll give each of us a moment to connect with your source of divinity in the way that feels comfortable to you. I'll give us a little silence for that. Invite any guides or helpers in that you choose to invite. And I'm just going to ring the bowl a little bit just to use sound to also clear our auras and energies and the space. Right. We have ourselves a beautiful sacred space, and I can feel the energy shift, and I love it. And I'll just mention I have a little tree behind me that I don't take down. I call it the tree of joys or the joy tree. And so when I come into this room or when I'm here and I look at it, and I just think of all the little things that bring me joy or make me happy, and it is that reminder to be in gratitude. So it is that joy tree. And I don't take it down. It's always here. It's not for any particular holiday or observance. It is there as a beautiful reminder to take a breath and be in joy. And my dog is taking a massive drink.
We can't hear it.
Oh, good. Okay.
Hmm.
I had to take my little tree down because my cats knocked it down every single day.
Oh my, yeah, well, I understand that. If Twitch did that, I would probably not end up keeping it there. But
Yeah.
so far, although what she did on the fridge today, I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe. All right, so let's get it. Let me welcome who just came and joined us. I heard a ding.
Drew is the name.
Oh, hi, Drew.
Hello,
Yay.
I made it.
You made it. My brother, my soup from another crib. So happy you made it.
Yeah, sorry
Absolutely.
I'm running so late.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right. You miss meeting these awesome people here. We have yeah. So we just had our little circle invocation to get started, and I mentioned the little joy tree just because it's sitting here and someone's probably going to watch this and go, why didn't you take down the Christmas tree? Because it's not a Christmas tree.
Mhm.
So, I'm going to do this is like a mini thing. I could go way much deeper into shields, but this will be a start. And then I'll talk for a little bit, but I'm going to invite anybody who wants to add whatever, if you have a technique or a method or whatever that you find helpful, because we are all highly, highly sensitive, those of us who are here present. Knowing each of you as I do, I know this. And so we might have found or developed a particular way that is super helpful. So we'll have a chance to do that. Okay, so I'll begin. I had asked a poll in the group, like as in survey, not as in stick, of um, what people wanted to know, and I gave some choices, and we had a few people on each one of them, and but there were quite a few on the question of why should I shield? So even though maybe everybody here goes, well, duh, of course we would shield, but some people may not know, so I'm going to just mention that. And if you guys have anything to chime in, by all means, this is not just about me being guru, as I said earlier. So um, it's important to shield, especially for everybody, really, but especially for those of us who are highly sensitive, because we are just feeling everything all the time anyway. Um, we're empaths here, you know. Almost everybody in the Haven is an empath. Some of us are like the extremely sensitive high end of empath to where we're like, oh, could I catch a break for a half a second? You know, it's just really hard. So we absolutely must. And really, I think the world would be a better place if everybody practiced a little bit of energetic hygiene. I think it's the term I used to Mel the other day. It's the because I
Mhm.
noticed people coming on to Zoom calls or different things, and they just like they brought their whole life with them and went, and it was a 500-pound box, and they just dumped it right into the middle of everybody.
Mhm.
And people kind of are like, and they don't even quite know why. Most people don't even know exactly like what and why am I feeling this. It's because people brought their whole life in this big box that they had to heave in and went, oh, threw it down, and that's it because they don't have any sense of
Mhm.
setting their boundaries.
Mhm.
So
Mhm. Mhm.
that's really important. Anyone
I
else
think
have
you
anything to add on
I
that? Go
think you
ahead.
may have noticed about that time I got the palo out. So, I mean, I was just like, oh, here comes the box. And then I was like, let me pick this one up and this one up. And how many more can I fit in my hand?
Yeah.
It's like, that's not working. These aren't working. Let me go get the palo.
Yep.
Speaking of Palo Santo, I have pieces. I assume that's what you meant by Palo. I have
Yeah,
pieces of it around my house. I don't actually light them usually because the other thing, although I love to light incense, it's marvelous, but I don't like to light big chunks of wood. I just feel like it could be a little more dangerous, especially when you have cats and such.
true.
But even just having its presence and with your mind or with a feather just wafting its energy, even without lighting it, it's still very good. Not that anything's wrong with lighting it, but
I
just
love
thought
the
I'd
smell
mention
of
since
it.
you brought it into the circle here. Yeah. So that's why. And as we learn to shield in, and I'll tell you that I'm not teaching the whole shebang tonight, but the really good shielding, you're going to have layers and levels and confusers in the shielding and mirrors in the shielding and all kinds of things just to help keep the bad out and keep you in. And even doing that, you're still going to hear the world screaming and feel all the feels, but it'll still help you. So we're not going 7 layers deep tonight, but just to kind of give the preview of what's going to come in a deeper workshop that we'll have coming. is, yeah, it's really good to do in layers. And I know Drew would certainly agree because yes, Drew has also helped teach shielding at some things too. So,
Mhm.
Oh
so
yeah, the more layers and the more varied kinds, the better.
yes, absolutely. Textures, different things in the layers. Yes. I have Nugget leaning into me saying, "You just need to pet me, rub my chest right now." So I'm doing that. But so anyway, but that's why to many of us it'll probably be evident. However, it really is helpful. And honestly, if everybody just took a moment, everyone in the world just took a moment to like breathe and bounce on your heels and ground the energy and let, be like a tree for a minute and just throw it all down before you enter it into like a meeting or an office or your
Mhm.
family home or whatever, it would be so much easier because a lot of times there's just this stuff. And even people who don't know that they're empaths or sensitives or who aren't that sensitive, but they'll pick it up to a point. And they'll sometimes people, especially teenagers, might like all of a sudden just act out
Mhm.
and they were fine 5 minutes ago. Well, there could have been some lingering that people just slammed down in the room and left it there and and weren't shielding and weren't doing any of that. So yeah, so that is why, and yeah, the good cleansing things, we'll get into some of that. So, um, what kind of tools do you need? For me, I will always say that it's fine and wonderful to have the crystals and the herbs and the Palo Santo and the salt and the whatever. It's wonderful to have it. It's useful to have things, but it isn't absolutely necessary if you have your mind and your intention that you hone and finally fine tune and focus. That's your most important tool always and forever. Okay. It's the same way you can have a piece of Palo in your hand and just imagine it's wafting its essence around and cleansing a room. That's really good because you're letting your mind connect with that essence of the Palo Santo. But things like Palo Santo and sage have been used for ages. Somebody has some odd background noise going on. Um, anyway, so you have those. Um, using your hand or a feather, this was a gift. It came to me from some of the birds around me. So having a feather is nice for wafting smoke to help in clearing. If you don't have a feather, you most likely you have a hand. Everyone here has hands that work at least reasonably well. You can feather with your hand. Imagine your hand is a feather if you want. You can just use your mind, but sometimes getting the body involved is so incredibly helpful. And it's why sometimes just sort of going, "Whoa," making a gesture, making a big sigh can really help in just letting you drop some energy. And there's a lot of things with sound and sighing and all of that we could talk about too. But moving your body, those things will help. Just sort of letting down the burdens and saying, I'm done with this. It's not a part of me. This is not mine. Shoo it away with your hands. Things like that really help you. Selenite, I know a favorite of Drew and a favorite of mine. I don't know if it's a favorite of anyone else, but we're all crystal people. We're all the cool rock crowd here. So this is a fairly long one. I do have a little short piece that's just maybe 4 inches long that I carry in my bag because this is just a little too long um, to carry about. But I do like to carry some with me because sometimes you're just in a situation and you really need to cleanse. And selenite is one of the best crystals for that. Not the only one, but it's a really good one. So before you're shielding yourself, a really good idea, because why do we want to lock in everything with the shield if we didn't first kind of sweep out anything that got attached to us, any little funky energies or whatever? So, a fun thing to do with selenite, if you have it, or clear quartz, or your hand if you don't have any of those, is to give your energy, your aura a sweep. You can either sort of just sweep it like that, like you're giving yourself a lint brush all over and going down your energy centers and down the back and all of that. That helps to clear your personal field. I also take, since we're talking shields, I take and put selenite around the computer, the keyboard, the mouse, the printer, various things like that to just because when we're working, we're focused. A lot of things come at us, ads come at us, other people's energy comes at us, and it still affects us, even if it's through a screen. And our phones, of course, um, just give that phone a good clearing of energy as well. So there's lots of ways to do it, but um, you can use your sage or palo if you're burning it and nearby. You can take it around those things. You can use the crystal. You can use your mind. But it's really good sweeping out a room, sweeping out the doors and windows. And I even go around the electrical outlets every season just to kind of clear any. Those are all entries from the outside in. So it's helpful to do that. So part of shielding is clearing away what we don't want and what isn't a part of us and what might have just clung. Like you go out and you be around other people, and it's like for me, it's like I come home and you think about wiping your feet on the doormat and wipe your energy, just leave that. I don't want that in the house. Let's leave that all outside. You two doing? Oh, where the kids are having a kiss fest down on the dog's bed. The cat's in the middle of the dog bed. The dog is mostly off the bed and they're kissing each other. It's very cute. So, those are some methods to clear yourself before you even shield. Who has something else you would like to share from that? You have a method you like?
For clearing myself, I work with angels also.
Yes.
And so I will call on Archangel Michael, the fiery sword, burn away
Mm-hmm.
any of that that's sticking to me that shouldn't be there. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I usually add in
That's
addition to
great.
my own cleansing. And I do also keep selenite everywhere. I have these little sticks that are about 2 inches long, and I
Nice.
have them above my front door, my bedroom door, my bathroom door. So it's like you
Mm-hmm.
kind of get showered with it anytime you go into a room.
Mm-hmm. I love it. That's a great thing to do. I have it in all of my windows and near the doors. I don't have any above it or anything because I don't have without like taping it, I wouldn't have a way to do that, but I have it nearby the doors. And so that's really good. I like putting it in between the rooms. That's a nice idea. Yeah. So Mel has a whole, once you start selling your crystals, be sure and let us know because I'm sure some of the cool rock crowd would be happy to shop from you.
Mm. Well, I have tons of selenite. I think I was trying to learn something new at the same time you were talking because I'm also taking notes, but you brought up selenite and it's one of my favorites.
Ah, good.
I have it everywhere.
Mhm.
You said next to the computer, so I was showing you what's next to me on my desk, which is huge. Um, selenite lamp. I don't know if you've seen it. I could
I
take it
want
out.
a selenite lamp. I don't have one yet, but yeah,
Oh,
that would be
she
cool.
love
I
it.
do have the Himalayan salt lamp back here, and so
I have
that's
one of
really,
those right over here on this side. I got selenite over here and
yeah.
salt lamp over here and um a salt lamp. I have crystals everywhere, kind of for different reasons. But as far as like cleansing, um, my favorite way is bathing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and whatever I decide to ingredients add in the bath. I also like using essential oils in my diffuser.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I enjoy incense, sage, and I don't know why I've always called it palo, and I hear you calling it how I don't even know
Palo
how
Santo. Well, that's how I learned to pronounce it.
palo
I wasn't correcting you.
palo.
I've heard it
No,
called Palo
I just
Santo, but yeah.
I've not I can't I don't know. I just so I'm probably always gonna say it
No,
that
that's
way. I
fine.
don't mean to.
I just
Um,
verified that that's what you meant. Otherwise, you could have meant
yeah.
something else that I didn't know about. That's the only reason I I was
Uh-uh.
asking. Yeah.
No, the only reason I was saying that though is like my son, he doesn't really care for smoke in general.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So in the morning times because I get up before him, I'll use incense. Um, Sage, he doesn't like the smell of sage very much at all. Um, and I like sweetgrass as well. That
Hmm.
was something I didn't hear mentioned. I really like that. My favorite incense is called India Temple,
Hmm.
and they actually do make like a little oil that you can use on yourself. Gosh, they have so much different products of it, but I love it. I buy it at a little crystal shop near the next town over. Um, but I think that might be about it. Cinnamon, simmer pots.
Mm.
Um,
Cinnamon
okay.
supports your angels. So for Angela, you'd said you work with angels a lot.
Hmm.
So do I.
Yeah.
I have well, essential oils, but I have cinnamon sticks that you buy, edible cinnamon sticks, not the kind for crafting, the kind you would eat or put in your hot
Right,
cocoa or
right.
whatever.
Mhm.
And I buy a box of them and a couple times a year I put them in like the dresser drawers. I put them in all the rooms. There's one in the guest room.
Hmm.
There's ones in the bathroom on the sink. They're just all over the house so that any angel, and I will sometimes have angels that like come by and like, okay, thank you. I feel better now. And they'll go on their way. So take
I
a beat.
always thought it was also, I mean, maybe it has, I don't know where I would have learned. I can't really say. I've done it for so long that I don't know where I would have learned that it had something else to do with like cleansing and
Hmm.
protection. And
Yeah,
so I kind of
It
make little
is.
concoctions. Yeah.
yeah.
It's very good. That's another reason to carry it. Like I have it in all my suitcases and my purse and stuff too. It's cinnamon. It's ground. It's like the root chakra. It's very grounding. Yes, it's part of protection. It's like also, a lot of the stones like tiger's eye and the black stones and whatever are very good for
Mhm.
self-protection, and they can help enhance your shielding for sure. This is why there's just not one way to do a thing.
Yeah,
If
Right.
somebody
there's
can't
tons of ways.
tolerate cinnamon or they can't tolerate smoke, that's why I say that you don't even have to smoke the incense. You can
Hmm.
imagine
Mm-hmm.
it, wave it with your hand without lighting it, because there are lots of people with allergies to smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And
So,
another good cleansing that you can do is with sound.
oh
And you
gosh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
you could have like a singing bowl, but you also could just like have a bell that you
Hmm.
ring
Mm-hmm.
around with you. I have a string of bells I bought at a metaphysical shop once that I love. And I have like a little like
Hmm.
anklet that has little bells on it that I
Yeah.
might put on whenever I'm going around doing a cleansing of my home. So sound is a really great cleanser too, and it's free. You
It is.
don't, you
Right.
know.
And it's also, if you don't have a bell, like I have a little
Hmm.
tiny bell, it's like 2 inches, it's a little tiny, but wow, is it a powerful sound healer. And
Hmm.
I have often taken it. I have this little kit. I have, each of the elements, little things to use for when I have to do magical workings or cleansings or dealing with spirits in a home or whatever. And the bell is one of the things, and I can use my voice too, but a lot of times having a bell will clear the air, and oftentimes
Hmm.
bells will catch the attention of angels as well. Little small ones especially will catch their attention, not like the great big Liberty bells, but the small the small ones. Well, they'll catch anyone's attention, but yeah, but the
Uh-huh.
little bells. Yeah, and
Uh,
you're humming.
I
Yeah.
have a question about the bells.
Hmm.
So I've only in the last year really allowed, so that's a good word for me to use, allowed bells. Because somewhere along the lines I had heard negative things about using bells. So like when I would get things, because I used to resell a lot of different things. So if I found one with like a cardinal, and I've kept it on the memory shelf I have with like my grandmother's things and stuff. And then I came across some that were brass that I thought were just so unique. So I kept them. Um, I'm hearing you now with the cleansing and the sound, but I don't remember where it was so long ago that I heard,
Not against
negative things.
bells. I haven't heard it. I mean, I'm gonna tell you whatever you want to say from any, culture. Hello, Twitch. There you go. We got our Zoom bombing. Um, every culture, there's really be something somewhere that says, something is good, and the same other people will say the same thing isn't. So I think tune into your own inner guidance, because sometimes the reason that something isn't good for us, it maybe we have a past life association or whatever. Maybe it isn't that it's bad for us, but we have Like, I think part of not liking, the term of witch comes from something in the past. And
Mm,
not to say you have to like the word just because other people do, but I mean, sometimes we react to a thing because of a past association, either from this life or another. And sometimes it's just different cultures will have different beliefs, or it could be, there's always things that somebody in a family does for some reason, and maybe they had a superstition or whatever about it.
mhm.
So you just have to sort through it. But what feels okay for you? Sound is definitely healing in your own voice, assuming you have one, which all of us do, to be able to use that to send out a sound. This is why things like a sigh, just going, and you'll feel like, oh, that felt better. Just that energy and the pushing out of the sigh will help you feel better. So, Twitch, this
Thank you.
cantankerous kitten. Yeah. So,
I'm dead.
other tools, anyone else have tools you like?
My favorites are hematite and wind.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Interesting.
Wind.
Yeah.
Don't rub over
If
there.
you don't have natural wind, you can use fans to create false wind.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Or
Unless,
you
of course,
can,
you happen to be a wind maker and then you can make wind.
right. Or you can blow and create your own wind.
Mhm.
There are
Was
times
trying to chuck
when
it over there, but I held it way too
having
long.
letting go of some wind will help you release stuff. Like if you feel just things like shaking your body also. Really, the Shake It Off is a great song, but that just shake off whatever. Maybe you can't jump in the shower right immediately, but you just were around something and you can probably, even if you have to run in the bathroom really quick and just go blah, 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 and shake off the stuff so that you can then clear off stuff and then shield yourself. Okay. So, um, those are some really good tools and really good ways for both clearing and starting to shield. And we'll be talking about building a shield here very shortly. How often, I asked if people wanted to, know about how often, and there were quite a few people who were not clear about how often should you shield. So, every day and often more than once would be especially the way things are. When we're highly sensitive, different things are going to hit us. It's not only like somebody purposefully trying to throw bad energy at us or something like that, but it's like you hear something on the news or you're scrolling Facebook and you see that somebody's cat died and all of a sudden you're weeping and upset. And it's that kind of stuff where it's not necessarily always about someone trying to do you harm, but it's the things that holding on to my feather and selenite because now the cat wants them. Um, but because we're going to come in contact with things, being
Mhm.
able to shake it off in whatever way and then kind of reinforce our shielding really helps because those things hit us in the feels. And
Mhm.
when we're hit emotionally, it's going to take our energy down a few notches. There are probably other people who wouldn't feel as put out by the same thing as we would as highly sensitive people.
Mhm.
But I mean, who hasn't had this? I'm like looking at Facebook and I see someone's cat died and my morning is ruined or
Mhm.
whatever time of day it is. And I might
Yep.
not even know them well. Or I see someone in a hospital who's looking really, really sick in a bad way. I'm like, why do you show hospital bed pictures on Facebook? Really, people don't really want to run across that stuff unawares. It's bad enough when I go and seek it out in person, like on purpose. Um, but yeah, so that kind of thing is we're going to run across it. And so we need to have these little ways to both shake it off, which is part of shielding, being able to shake off what's not yours, and then being able to go, okay, well, now that have a drink of water is another thing sometimes to do, just get a little hydrated can help. And then go, okay, now I'm going to take a moment and, revitalize the shield. So, that's why I say every day is good to reinforce them at least somewhat. The more sensitive you are, the chances are more that you will want to give it a little touch up more than once during the day. And whenever something really hits you in the feels, that's definitely the time when you want to take that moment to regroup, to breathe, to pull your energy into your center, shake it off, and then re-up your shields a little bit. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
You only have so much control over what you get exposed to.
Well, right.
So that's how we prepare for that kind of thing, is by shielding and
Yeah.
keeping it up, keeping it maintained.
We have to. It's just like everything else. Your car, your home, if you don't do anything, eventually it
Mhm.
all falls to poop around you. So, it's the same with our shielding. And because we're so sensitive, we need to be more vigilant than the average bear would have to be about keeping our personal shielding going.
Mhm.
Okay. So that answers the how frequently, and it's really good um, at the full and new moons or at whatever times that you're particularly aware of it. Those are times when it's good to go through and do a more extensive, check in on everything. It's like look around, make sure there's no cracks in the ceiling, that kind of effect. Get the dust bunnies out from under the couch and the little cobwebs from the corners and whatever, and spiff the whole thing up. I like to do it at new and full moons to go a really nice, thorough, going over. But then every day you're still doing that daily maintenance, just like we have to eat and take water and sleep, and we can't just do those things like whenever the mood hits us or once every blue moon or whatever, because it wouldn't go well for us. So the same way with shielding. Oh, Miss Kitten. Yeah. And this cat loves, whenever I'm doing energy work, she is all over it. Your cats help you do energy work, Angela?
Well, one of them is really stuck to me right now, so apparently
Yeah.
he wants to help.
Well, yes. I mean, typically, though, I know you've got one is with you
Hmm.
going, oh, I'm going to just soak in all.
Yeah, usually there's one with me, but it's not always the same one.
Yeah, that's fun.
They kind of take turns, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They're interesting cats.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So for shielding, the best thing, and Drew was mentioning this earlier, is the best thing you can really do is to think about your shielding having various layers, and that you want to, uh, yes, kitten, right, kitten? Yes, you want to have different textures, different types of things. So it's not just like thinking of layers of cellophane or paper or something like that, where it's just a stack of things that are the same. So the shielding that's very closest into your body, that is absolutely your armor. Um, I also sometimes talk about shielding as putting on the armor of God, which is kind of using a biblical reference, but it's that idea, it's your divine armor. It doesn't matter. It's not saying it's the Old Testament God or whatever like that, but that it's your divine armor. And so if you think about putting on that divine armor, that really helps. And so that really good, solid, titanium shield that's really close to you. The idea with shielding is you're not trying to block out the entire world, like as if we could, even if we might like to, at least for a minute once in a while, as empaths. But you're not going to block it out entirely, but you don't want it coming at you. And so if you have a really good, solid shield really close to you, and then you can decide on other layers that you want to create. And so you might have a layer that's like funhouse mirrors. So something is trying to come at it and it gets bounced off in some other really weird directions. And nothing can really find you in a funhouse. You can think you're looking right at something, but they might be way over there, but the mirrors are reflecting them weird. So things like a funhouse mirror or any kind of mirroring. Um, there's that whole kid phrase, I'm rubber, you are glue. what bounces off me sticks to you, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. That's actually a spell. And that's actually meant to be a deflection spell and a form of shielding, right? So that's the idea of anything with a mirror. Simply, it doesn't do harm, force out harm. It just says, hey, whatever you're sending at me, you can have that back. It's all yours. You can keep it. It's all good.
Hmm.
So a mirror layer is really good to have. Um, I also like to think of having a layer that's like a maze. Like it's just, you can't really find your path through it exactly, and there could be dead ends. And so if you imagine a maze, that can be a really nice shielding layer to put into your personal shielding. So, Angela, and I'll ask everyone else too, have you tried anything like that, having multi-layered shields?
I have not.
Okay.
My shield has only ever been one layer. I don't know why I've never considered adding more layers.
Well, now you have.
It seems obvious now, doesn't
Well,
it?
it's sometimes things you're like huh, wow, that
Yeah.
was really dumb of me not to think of that. Yeah, but
Right.
yeah, well, but
Yeah.
it's okay. Live and learn in that order. You were today
Yeah.
years old when you just discovered
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
could have
Yeah.
more than one layer. Yeah. How
Yeah.
about
So
yourself?
mine is I usually picture it as like a bubble
Hmm.
around me. And it's generally like the color rose quartz, kind of translucent,
Hmm.
is what I always picture. I
Hmm.
use an image from a video game as like the animation, if
That's
that makes
no, but
sense.
that's okay. It's good to use those things. If we have
Hmm.
if we have these little images and things to hold on to, it's really helpful. So that's fine. I often teach, total beginners, like it's like an upside down egg essentially, and that's just your basic, but it's certainly better than going into the world with nothing.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you have the rose quartz, you also have your angels, and I know that and your guides that help and all of that. But yeah, so now you can experiment with building layers in your shields.
Yeah, I think that's really good. And like the mirrors and the maze, I mean, that makes a lot of sense for why that would help shield you better.
Yeah. I call it confusal fires, which I know is a made up word. I like to make up words. I like to have
That's okay.
confusal fires. Like they just like, what's confusing? It's something is trying to get, because there are times when something will be a more direct attempt. Sometimes it's just the world at large in general, and no one's trying to do it. But there are times when someone notices that we have an ability, there's going to be somebody who can sniff it out.
Yeah.
And so you want to be able to confuse the matter and not have them be able
Well,
to
like
strike.
empaths tend to attract narcissists. Like they're just attracted to us. It's lovely,
I'm sorry.
Oh,
It's so true.
right?
It's so true. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think I've really ever termed it layers.
Hmm.
Unknowingly, I probably was, but I just never realized, hey, I'm gonna layer up like I'm going out in the blizzard
Yeah,
to certain
that's a great
things.
image.
Uh, well, it is. That's what I think of when you're
That's
talking about
great.
layers. Um, I'm very familiar with the concept of the armor of God. I've just never correlated the two, I
Hmm.
guess. I don't know why. Like like she said,
Ah.
well, geez, that would be really obvious now.
Yeah.
I have a very close spiritual mentor, um, and she taught me about the mirrors years ago. And I guess I don't know that I got the animation from anywhere, but it's kind of like the size of full-length mirrors that just come down like all around me and
Hmm.
face out. But when I use them, it's like they're loud and heavy and unbreakable, and they're just like, that's how I picture it being like, oh, and um, I will say that's a very good reminder because, Rhonda, but not everyone else. I went through a lot of crap last year, and that's just, we'll leave it there, physically and health wise. So I just kind of am reconnecting, and that's something that the mirrors, the protection, I haven't done. Um, so when you first asked, I was like, oh, like almost like, why do we do this to ourselves? Almost like, oh yeah, I need to know all about that, as if I know nothing. I was more like, and then as we've talked, just as I started taking notes, you asked at the beginning, to talk about things that we already do. What do you already know about? So I started writing things down. I'm like, well, dang, you actually did know a little. Um, she also taught me about pulling in the aura when you are going to go to public.
Mm-hmm.
And that, she was talking about how, like, when we're at home and we're free, like, it extends really far out. And if you're not intentionally trying to reel it back in, then you're walking out the door with it just like out there. And then you're feeling more, you're receiving more, and you're allowing other people to feel that too, attracting more sometimes of what we don't want. And
Mm-hmm.
so I do try to be intentful in that way. I wear crystals, um, depending on which one.
Mm-hmm.
I wire wrap them. I have my arms are always stacked, um, different each day. Um, I feel a very strong connection with crystals. And I loved what you talked about carrying fast food salt packets
Mm-hmm.
when you go places. I've never heard of the maze. I really like that. That'll be a good one. That'll
Yeah.
be a good one to play with in imaginary and visualize.
Yeah. And then like you talked about your mirrors being really heavy. The fun thing about our imagination is we can keep them that way if that's how we want them. But if we feel like, hey, that's too heavy for me, so we can go, hey, you know what? This mirror is made of the strongest and lightest of materials. So when it comes around me, I feel sealed in, but not weighed down. So whatever it is, I've just used that as an example.
Mhm.
Whatever the visualization is, we want to use colors. We can infuse also. Yes, I love to wear crystal bracelets and jewelry and all of that, of course. But there are just times when I feel like, gosh, I really need such and such a crystal and I don't have it on my person right now. So, okay, I call upon the essence of lapis lazuli or whatever it is. And I just imagine that I have that energy with me, and so it is. And once you imagine it, you hold that in your mind, you make it so. That's also why I say, yes, it's nice but if you don't want to smoke the incense, you can imagine it smoking, or you can waft without lighting it up. You can waft it with your hand or a feather without even making smoke if you want, and it will still have the effect because your mind is so powerful. Drew, do you feel like saying anything? You don't have to. There's no compulsion, but if you feel like sharing anything on your shielding.
Well, something nobody talked about that I don't know if everybody can do, but I have like an EM field in mine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if other people can do that. I'm electricity oriented, so
Mm-hmm.
I put in an EM field to try and like block extra staticky feelings from other people.
Yeah, electromagnetic field. That's really cool. It's the fun thing is this is all in our minds and we can put whipped cream in there if that's what we feel like we need. It's whatever. It's our imagination and it's so
And
powerful.
and also when I like know I'm going to be going out into troubling situations, I like to apply like a soothing balm like right inside the normal outer shield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I look at it as like coating myself in calamine before I walk through the poison oak of
The
the
sticky,
world.
the poison ivy. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
That's a
really
good
great.
idea.
I like that. Yeah, and
So
I think it's fun. This is why I liked that all of us can learn from each other too, and just getting those ideas. And a lot of times it's just oh, I just never thought of it. It sounds so obvious and simple, and it kind of is, but it's just we hadn't thought of whatever. So that's just beautiful to catch all these beautiful ideas from everybody. Yeah. And whenever you need to call upon a something, you just imagine that energy, that essence being with you. And for those who don't feel like they can do that or aren't sure, because there'll be people watching the recording and stuff too, is you can always ask your guides and your angels to help you. And that's what they're there for. And thing is with guides and angels, they will help you, but they expect you to know enough to ask. They are not necessarily going to go, Angela, here's what you should be asking me to do to help you right now that you're not doing. So I just
Yep.
picking on you for no particular, just
That's
to have a
okay.
name. But yeah, so it's like they're not going to do that. It's all on permission and they will help you.
There you go.
And you need to actually go, you got any guides, whatever, so and so, whatever your guide's name is, or whatever your angel's name is. You got any other ideas for me? And they'll be like, oh, yes, here's a list. And they'll tell you, and they're like, yes, I've been waiting for you to ask me for 10 years. Woohoo! Finally. So,
Right. Yep.
yeah, so the
So
permission, yeah.
what about animals? Um, I mean, I feel like I do that, not a lot. Used to more than now, like I explained a little bit ago. But I mean, what are your thoughts on the like spirit animals and not like physical? Like you guys
Oh,
have your
sure.
cats, I'm so jealous, but
Well, yeah, but I mean, a guide, see, when I'm saying a guide, that usually they're
Rosie.
disincarnate of some kind. I don't really have guides that are human. I have some that take a human form periodically, but they know I'm not, so they just don't bother usually. But sure, guides can be a spirit animal, and um, many of us will have one or more animals that are particularly come to us. For me, the hawk is definitely one of a spirit animal that's very present in my life, sometimes more than I would like, but sometimes I don't want them to be calling attention to me and they'll be known to appear out of the sky and call out. And I'm like, no, don't. So, but so yeah, we can have, disincarnate spirit animals, absolutely. And also some people might have a particular rock, a particular tree, a particular place, maybe a particular body of water that's like a guide for them. So it doesn't only have to be, the Qui-Gon Jinn type of old guy with a robe and a staff and stuff.
I don't have one of those with a staff and a robe.
No, but that's sort of the old wise and spirit guide kind of idea.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
they can be any and look any different way. And um, when I do intuitive readings with people, a lot of times I actually will see their guides and know however they're presenting. I mean, they'll take on a human form a lot of times, but they are at their essence not human. That's just the particular face they might be showing. And I can
I
see
think
that.
I've
And
seen where
so,
you said you drew it.
yeah, I
Is
do, I
that
do, I do art. Yeah. I use digital means. I can't draw that well. If I know if I drew to be, hey, here's your stick person. But yeah, I do digital art that shows people their guides. And so because I can see and sense not only what they look like if they're a woman with brown hair or whatever it is, but also like their energetic presence and how they dress and perhaps what time period they might have been associating with that they're showing to you. So it's a kind of an interesting thing, and it's been fun to watch people kind of light up when they see their guide for the first time.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, definitely. I can see that.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, so that's pretty fun. It's like that's why this really annoying angel wanted me to call myself the blind seer, which I still kind of resist. And because I see things that others don't. I'm like, yeah, that is very true. I certainly do. And it's I see the spirit world much better than the physical world. So, you know, I have been known to talk to people that are not physically there because to me they're right there.
mm-hmm.
Did it in a
Yeah.
hallway one time. Had a couple of people walk down the hall going, "Uh," and if someone kind of, looked at me askance, I'll just tap like I'm on a phone, like in my earbud.
There you go. Just
Okay.
pretend you're on the phone.
Yeah, I was actually just talking to a janitor that died 50 years ago, but okay. I'll pretend I was on a phone call on my cell, but I just had an earbud. Didn't have my phone up to my ear. So,
Yeah.
so that's good. Any other resources you guys want to share or things that you feel, hey, before we go, I gotta say this.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, this was awesome to have our first one to get together And oh, Drew, we made 42 today. You didn't hear because you weren't here at the beginning. We made our 42, so life, the universe, and everything. And
I'm
Drew,
glad you got that.
here's my towel, Drew.
Good. You can be a cool fruit.
So just happy we made 42 just because it's so fun and that we did it before. And everybody who's at a level 3 or beyond in the group um, is going to get a one card reading from me, and I will do them this weekend, probably mostly Saturday. I might do a few on Sunday, depending. But I will do those and I'll put them in a thread and I'll tag each person with their private reading and or personal reading and put that in there. So um,
Thank you.
it's exciting when people level up. And here's what I'll say about the gifts and all of that is they're fun, but they're also very useful. And so, yeah, I love giving gifts. I love that people are getting excited. I just put in the level 7 and 8 gifts. I right now, before I'd had them as surprise, because like as much a surprise to me as you, because I don't know what they are yet. But but today I put them in so they have other names besides surprise, key level 7 or whatever. So I put those in today. And also, I put in a couple of other things today, one of which is I call it Zen in 10. It's a little set of 10 different actions that you can do in 10 minutes or less that will help you to de-stress and relax. And that has it's a PDF to keep it super simple. And I also made a set of printable cards that you can print. If I'd actually been more on top of it, I would have printed some out to show you, but that's okay. I'll show it in the group in the next day or two. And that's something that's available to purchase inside of the school. And they're easy things to do. And when you don't have much time, but you're like, oh, I need to de-stress, so they'll give you some ideas. So that's been really fun. I am so incredibly grateful to you for coming and to everybody who is part of the Haven now or in the future. Every day in the morning, I get up and my first thing while I'm still in bed, I have hand on my heart and I'm reveling in gratitude and just affirming that something wonderful is happening today and doing all those kinds of things. And I get up and I'm with my coffee and my little book of the people and situations and my groups that need some TLC. And of course, every day I'm sending loving support to all the Resonance Haven members who exist now or whoever will in the future. Because, as I said in the beginning, time and space really, it's pretty much an illusion. It doesn't mean as much as the world would have us think it does. So there's part of the morning intentions that everyone gets a little burst of love and light. And if you're in several groups, and I do this for your group, Mel, and for your group, Angela, and Oracle Cards Magic and others that I'm involved with, as well as friends and people who have asked for prayers or energies and all of that. So get those little extra boosts every day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, thanks everybody. And thanks also to the guides and helpers. We had a very crowded spiritual room in a good way. It's one time when you can be in a larger group of creatures and not be like, oh no, too many, go away. I hope
Mhm.
this has all given you plenty to think
Oh,
about with
I stopped just
shielding
in time.
yourself and setting your own space separate from everything else. And as I say, I know it's not the cure-all. When we're super sensitive, we're still going to feel stuff, but boy, would we be worse off if we didn't do the shields.
Mm.
I thank you very much, and we'll just disperse all of our good helpers with thanks and our circle, and you have a beautiful night.
Bye,
Thank
Rhonda.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.
Catch ya, Mel, Angela, Drew. See ya.
Goodbye, everybody.
Scoot is,
Bye.
yeah, I'm trying to stop the recording and you're in my way. There we go.